Now, let's turn our attention to social media and politics. Various political parties are hiring influencers to push their campaign agenda. But just how much does social media influence election campaigning in South Africa? Well, joining us via Skype is social media expert and PR expert, Tebogo Tshego. Tebogo, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're a very, very busy bee. I take you back just a couple of weeks to the ANC's January 8th statement. And the old school journalist in me was quite taken by the photos coming from the stadium there, where not only were there media with accreditation saying journalist, there was also media with accreditation that said influencer. Is that where we are now? Media influencers getting accreditation and being invited by organizations and in some cases being paid to attend events like the ANC's manifesto launch and January 8 statement celebration?
Well, that's very interesting. I think what's important when you're talking about an influencer or an ambassador is the fact that the person has credibility. So if we know that you are paying the person to say this and they're not necessarily believing what they say, then it loses credibility. So what you want is somebody who already believes in the political party, somebody who you've seen is following the party, and someone you don't necessarily have to pay to post about that political party. So if we're in the stage where you're going to pay people and even call them influencers, then I don't think that those people will have as much credibility as someone who is authentic and is talking about the political party from their own initiative.
Do you think that there's an understanding that the young people, because one would assume that the reason why these influencers are being used or brought in this way is to help an organization like these political parties to talk to a younger audience? Do you think there is an understanding that this younger audience sees through all of this and they know the difference between somebody being paid to tweet or to put Instagram posts about something and those who are not?
Well, I think firstly, the impact would be the algorithm. So you will see more people learning about the policies and the activities of the political organization. However, I do think that people can see the difference between somebody who perhaps is getting paid or somebody who's looking for favors in return for endorsing that political party. And I think what needs to happen is that we need to engage in substantive issues. So it has to go beyond that endorsement that we saw of Oprah Winfrey when she endorsed the former President Barack Obama. It needs to go towards where we talk about substantive issues and get to the meat of them so that we understand why is it that you support that political party.
I suppose it's fair to say that a big mistake would be for these political parties to assume that once a young person sees a favorite rapper or a comedian posing with a particular party, that means that they will now vote for them. The young people are far more woke than we give them credit for, aren't they? They are abreast of the issues and what matters to them in their lives at that particular moment.
Absolutely. And we saw that at the presidential elections in the United States just recently. Very few celebrities endorsed the President Donald Trump. However, you would have seen that some celebrities even asked him, please stop playing my music at some of your campaign rallies. So it was the opposite effect. But he still managed to get a lot of the people to vote. And I think that speaks to sectoral credibility. So you may be a great rapper, you may be a great football player, but it doesn't mean that your political views are credible. So we have to go deeper and understand exactly why you believe what you believe and not just that you're trying to get a quick buck.
Let's talk a little bit about the language being used on social media. I always cringe a little bit when I see organizations try and speak to a younger audience by using a lingo that's in at the time. So I think it's the IEC now whose slogan is Exe or something like that. Or they will start saying something like sharp brew or aware, and that means that they are talking to young people. How important is language choice in speaking with younger people through the use of social media platforms?
Well, we'll go to former President Nelson Mandela. He says that when you speak in a universal language like English, that you speak to the brains. But if you speak in their mother tongue, then you speak to the heart. So if you do speak to the youth and you use their language, they are more ready to understand that maybe you are with the times and you understand their culture, so they're going to listen to you. So what I think should happen is, beyond just using the language, I think you should also understand the dreams and aspirations of young people. That is where they will relate with you, where you understand that perhaps they're not voting for this reason. You have those insights, and then you tell them that, look, if you don't vote, then you don't have a say in the future of your country.
We'll leave it there for now. Social media expert, PR expert Tebogo Teshego joining us live via Skype. We thank him for his insight.